Hey, it's Nick from CropKing. Today we're going to show you how to build our 4.6 NFT system. So this is what you'll get in the box here. You'll get all of the steel tube that you need to build your frame, all of the plumbing pieces for the plumbing equipment, and the pump and all the hardware is in the other box that's included in your package. So before you start assembling your frame, we recommend gluing your channel together. We have a handy video that Nathan has made for us. This kind of outlines the recommended steps to make sure that your channel's not gonna leak. All you're gonna do is take your channel and you're gonna glue on both an end cap that has no spout and an end cap that has a spout, and then you're going to glue on the 45-degree elbow as well. So we're going to start with our tubes labeled A and B. Those are the first two ones that we need to grab. And you're just going to take these black plastic end caps. You might need a hammer to do this. Sometimes they just slip on really easily and you can just make sure that it's a nice finished fit on both ends. You want to grab a nut, 2 washers, and a bolt for all of the connections on this system. We want to make sure we put the 48-inch tubes on top of the 40-inch tubes. This will just help your NFT channel slide as you're going to use the system. So the next tubes you're going to look for are labeled C. So you want to make sure that the feet, which can level, are on the ground. And then you want to connect this to the bottom 40-inch tube at the top hole on this leg. You want to put the washer on first, and then the other washer will go on the nut side. Just that way you're not crimping any of your steel. Once you got everything fit together loosely, you'll want to go around with your driver and wrench and make sure everything's tight. You can also run around with a level and make sure that everything's level at this point too. So once we've got our stand kind of assembled here, we're going to add the next support pieces. There's 2 that are labeled D and 2 that are labeled E. You'll need one of the tubes labeled D and both of the tubes labeled E for this next step. And we're just going to go ahead and put the E sides on the shorter end of the table and the D side on the longer end of the table. So for these support pieces, they're going to go 1 hole down from this other bolt. And one side that I'm working on now is not going to be the drain side. This will be the feed side of the table. The drain will be on the other end. And you're just going to install these bolts the same way that you installed the other bolted connections. So for this video, we decided to put our drain side towards the camera. With this frame, you're able to switch either direction the system points, or you could just pick it up and rotate it around. To determine which side you're going to put your drain on, the extra D piece that's, I believe, 46 inches long, you'll take the 3 7-inch drain support pieces and you'll screw this all together, and then you'll mount this on the opposite side. So to assemble this drain support, you're going to take the 7-inch tubes and you're going to install them 1 hole in on each end, and then you're going to find the center point and install the other drain support there. But we just want to locate this hole 2 down from the top of the leg. Your support piece should be 3 down from the top of the leg on either side, and your initial support's obviously on that first hole. So now not only are we going to go around and tighten all of the bolts on the system now that we got everything loose fit together, we'll go ahead and make sure everything's level and install all of the black end caps wherever we haven't yet. The other thing we're going to need to install are little clips. These clips are for a body kit, but all they do is prevent our drain channel from getting bumped off of the back side of the table. All you need to do to install these is push them in through the hole and then hammer them in with a dead blow hammer or your hand. So what we're going to do next, now that all of our channels are here, glued and assembled, they're all ready for plumbing, it's easiest to wait to assemble all of your irrigation equipment once everything's fitted so that you can cut it all to the right size. All you need is your 1/2-inch feed tube, your 1622 feed tube. So you also need the reducing tees and the Veriflow valves for this step. You're going to take your 1/2-inch tube, one of these greenback valves, and a zip tie, and you'll go ahead and start tying your feed line onto the actual frame. You'll want to do this on the end with the holes of your channel where the feed tube will go in. So next I'm going to take a pair of scissors, something that you can cut this tube with. I'm gonna take one of these reducing tees and we're gonna position each of these so that they sit in between our channel, and our feed tube will come up and go into that hole from there. So we're gonna cut 3 to 4 inches of this tube off, run it into our Veriflow valve, and then we're gonna cut another 12 inches off to run it into our channel. For the drain line, you'll just want to glue this PVC piece into the elbow, and then you might want to take some Teflon tape to make sure that it doesn't leak it. And you'll screw this threaded insert into this adapter, and then you'll attach your drain tube to that. So for our feed tube, we want to make sure that we find the right 1/2-inch adapter in our Active Aqua kit that was included. You'll want to put one of the O-rings on the end of this, and then you'll want to thread that into your pump. So if you're buying a reservoir from CropKing, you're gonna drill those wherever you need to. So we just kind of drilled them on the lower part of the recess on the lid, ran our feed tube through, and then we're gonna install our pump and set it in the reservoir. You'll just slide that snap grip clamp that was included over your tube, slide the tube over the pump, clamp it shut, and then pop your reservoir closed with the pump in there. So if you've also purchased the optional light rack from us, this is what's going to be included in that. You'll get a bag full of hardware and end caps similar to the ones that were on this system, and then you'll get more tube. You're going to install one of the tubes on the top of 2 of the other tubes, and then you repeat the process on the same side. So it doesn't really matter where exactly you put this light rack. It's kind of designed to be used with any light at any height. So I'm gonna put this as high up as I can go. Keep in mind that on your specific system, you're able to adjust this as needed. That's if you have a thinner light or if you wanna lower your light so that it's closer to your plants. So now we're gonna go ahead and install all of our end caps, and then we're gonna go and tighten everything down so that it's all nice and square and tight. Now that your system's complete, go ahead and turn it on. Make sure that there's no water leaking out of it before you start putting your first crop in here. Feel free to reach out to anyone at CropKing if you have any more questions. We carry fertilizer, we carry media, and everything else that you need to get the system operational.